Global Church family. Welcome to the ongoing conversation about international missions at Fellowship Bible Church, where you get a front row seat to hear what God is continually doing to establish His church around the world. My name is Emma Kate, and I'm your host for the day. And today our podcast is going to be a little bit different. Instead of talking about different church partners or trips, we're actually going to be talking about a very exciting upcoming week that we have in front of us. And so Mark Francis is here today to talk about Global Church Week. Welcome.
I'm in like the hot seat. It's not like a host seat.
Right.
It's going to feel a little strange and unusual for me, but I'm excited because Global Church Week is something that comes around only every 2 years.
Yeah.
And my role here at church has many hats, one of which is kind of helping with podcasts and communications. The other is obviously music on stage. And what sometimes people forget that I also do is helping out with events. And my role as an event coordinator has multiple different facets. One is helping creatively come up with ideas of what to do for events. And then the other is to help execute and implement the logistics of events. This Global Church Week is one of the most, probably the biggest event that we have. Even,
it pulls every element of the church.
Even beyond Follow the Star, which I can appreciate all the things that go into Follow the Star. Those are 2 big nights, and this is over the span of an entire week or even almost 9 or 10 days that we're planning, and it happens every 2 years. So there's a lot that goes into it.
So much. So let's just dive right in. And we're talking about how this idea of our global church partners, they're all coming here, and we're going to infuse them into the life of the body. And one of the big ways we do that, let's talk about like the spiritual focus or our focus that we have for this. So as everybody knows, our sermon series is Following Jesus, and we're looking at that through the book of Mark. But then that's also going to play a big role in the spiritual emphasis for Global Church Week. So Mark, do you want to share about that?
Yeah, and as we have been planning for this week for basically a year now. So we did it 2 years ago. You take a deep breath. We've done Global Church Nights to somewhat mirror a little microcosm of a Global Church Week over the course of these last 18 months. And over the last year, I meet with the missions guys fairly regularly to connect with them and say, what do you see of what God is putting on your hearts of what we need to be communicating to our church body as we bring partners here to town? The phrase and the word that kept coming up was building God's church or establishing His church. And that seems to be ringing in the hearts of our missions teams right now as they go around the world and are interacting with so many different churches, pastors and leaders, and teaching and training and equipping. I know Scott and Jim really have on their hearts to convey what that looks like to our church body of what they're seeing firsthand going on around the world. So as we were wrestling with some themes or passages that were related to establishing the church, it seemed to make sense that we're involved in this Mark sermon series called Following Jesus, Mighty Messiah, Suffering Servant. We also have done other similar themes to this Following Jesus concept, where we looked at Good Friday and called it Following Jesus to the Cross. We had Biblical Training Center intensives called Following Jesus in the Battle. And so our church, I think we're finally starting to have our brains sink into what does it mean to follow Jesus? And to be wrestling with that internally for me personally, it's been helpful. And so now, if that's the case, what does it look like for me personally to follow Jesus as He is establishing His church around the world? So that theme is going to be resonating with our corporate gatherings that are going to be bookending the Global Church Week, and you'll be getting firsthand sense of what is the process, at least that our missions team goes through, that our church goes through in partnering with churches. What is the process from a church that is in the infancy stage all the way to then growing in their maturity, to then being, no church is fully mature, but what are then the fruits of a more mature church, and how we get the opportunity to see that firsthand as a church and as a missions team, and how do we can then convey that to our church body to see the need and to see the fruits.
Yeah. So it's going to be really incredible. And during those 2 weeks, we're going to be taking a break from the book of Mark, and we're going to hear Scott share 1 week and Jim share another week. And again, marry that idea of following Jesus in the establishment of the church, and focusing kind of a bit at the beginning on the need of it, why this is important, why the Lord has led the Global Missions Department here at FBC in that direction. And then focusing on the second week, talking about the fruit while we have our global church partners here, being able to connect with them and hear about how God is establishing, we say this all the time in this podcast, but establishing his church around the world. And what a gift to have our partners here to share.
And I know that they're making plans on bringing some of these global church partners up on the stage to assist them in the sermon time, to put real life practical examples of this almost outline of what an established church can look like. Again, there's no real templates, but I really believe that the missions team has a firm handle on what are the truths that a church needs to know, and what are the truths that need to get passed on to others within their church for discipleship to happen, for roots to take place, for this foundation to happen. And if you're new to FBC and you haven't heard what those teachings are like and what happens, I would encourage you to do your homework and research on that. And basically, you can use this week also to learn more about the ins and outs of what they do. I mean, on many episodes here in this Global Church podcast, you hear story upon stories of what the guys do when they go to conferences. And it's work. It's hard work.
It is.
You've been there too. Experiencing just the day in, day out study sessions and really trying to and again, these are pastors and teachers that they're constantly working with around the world, training and equipping them so that they can then go home and establish the church.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a lot of us don't have the opportunity to go on these trips. And so that's also why this week is so incredible, because we're bringing everyone here and we want to make time for FBC to connect with our global church partners. And so let's talk about the events. Let's talk about the ways that people can connect, and then we'll talk about who they'll be able to connect with while they're here. So we have the first weekend in October is when our global church partners will be here. And then that's Sunday night, we have family night.
So I'll first say that you can find what we're about to be talking about, a schedule online.
And we'll link it in the episode description.
An easy way to do that is if you didn't know that the church FBC has an app, go hunt that down. Look for FBC Virginia as an app, search that and download it, because there's some unique differences that the app has that our website doesn't, but we were able to marry them together to where when you go to the app, you'll see the Global Church Week right then and there, and then learn of all the details with the schedule that we're about ready to talk about and how to register for a couple of things as well. But the Global Church partners will all be in the corporate gatherings that first opening weekend of October 4th and 5th. And so you'll be able to just to see them. Hopefully they'll be wearing their lanyards, to identify themselves and just engage with them. Get a chance to hang out. But if you didn't see them in the corporate gatherings, then yes, that first big event for anybody to attend is family night. And that's an open house 6 to 7:30 opportunity for you to bring your kids, see the visitors in the main auditorium at basically, we call them booths or stations that they'll have set up. They love to help do this. This is a pretty common theme that we have done over the years. It's taken on different forms and different shapes, but it allows the visitors to display their culture, to display some food, to display some just some of their clothing and some of their artwork and some of the things that are representations of their culture. So it's a really neat thing for kids to engage in. And I know you're part of that planning process. So what other teasers do you have for family night?
So every kid can come. They can get a little passport. And so there'll be stamps. So everybody can go get stamped like they're going to the different countries and engaging. We also will do a scavenger hunt for the kids to make a verse. And then we'll just have, it's also a night we just want to hang out and really fellowship and and enjoy each other's company. So in addition to the booths, we're just going to have like ping pong set up. We're going to have cornhole, just a place for you to come together and hang out. And that way, if the parents just want to keep talking to people, the kids can be in the same room, but just playing games with their friends. So it's for the whole family. We have everything for every age to come and just have a good time.
Yeah, that's cool. And so piggybacking off of that idea that it's an open house and fun for all families, we're doing something similar but different on Friday night of the week. And we're able to partner with West Oaks Market right down the road. They have just an amazing atmosphere and environment and location to have a lot of people on a site and do some fun things. So it's going to be similar where you can bring your kids, bring your family, hang out. It's an open house end of the week from 4:30 to 7:30, big wide range. So you don't have to stay the whole time. Just come and go.
Yep.
There'll be some music there. There'll be hay rides. There's the corn maze that West Oaks offers. You can pick some pumpkins. You can buy some pumpkins. You can have dinner there. They'll have a limited menu at a decent price as well that you'll be able to have dinner. And all the Global Church partners will be there just scattered around the West Oaks Market area. And just find them and talk to them. And bring your family, bring your kids. So those are two really good opportunities in a casual, informal setting to get to know the visitors. In case you aren't catching it, that is really one of the goals of Global Church Week is just to build relationships with people because like you said, we can't always go to them.
No.
But this is every 2 years. Many of our Global Church partners, not all of them, are able to come to Winchester and you can see them. So it really is like a family reunion for many of them.
Yeah, definitely.
So those are two big things that we want you to have your eyes on.
Yeah. And then throughout the rest of the week, we've used this phrase like infusing the Global Church partners into the life of the body here. So what do we do on a normal basis and how can we invite people in? So I don't know, Mark, if you want to kind of run through what that'll look like.
Yeah, so and that is the key word, really just infusing them into the life of our church. Not recreating any new additional events, but just allowing them to come to all of our typical regular weekly things that go on. So it starts with community groups. We've asked community group leaders to adjust their time of day when they would meet because the schedule is pretty busy. So that'll be Monday night. We're going to ask visitors to go scatter around the community and go to different community groups. Tuesday, there's Women in the Word. It happens in both morning and evening. So the same time slots for Women in the Word for ladies. You can come and attend those meetings. And if you don't regularly go to Women in the Word, you're still invited. So come out for that. And then youth. You get a chance to have youth night on Wednesday. Seniors, they only meet once a month, but it just is perfect where their second Wednesday of the month falls in line with Global Church Week. So seniors, you can go to your event on Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. Keystone, that's the young adult ministry here at church on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. All the visitors will be there for Keystone crowd for them to interact with. So there's a whole mix of things that the visitors are going to be getting infused with. And anything special happening on Wednesday night for the youth?
We'll be playing some fun games with them, and then we'll just take the time to hear from our Global Church partners. And I think it'll be really special because some of them are people that we got to meet in Kenya just a couple months ago. So we're really excited about that reunion and seeing those people again.
Yeah. And the very first, it's so funny. I mean, just take a side note from the schedule real quick. I've been around enough of these to see the visitors come to Winchester and see each other for the very first time. And again, you got to imagine people from Ecuador to India to Kenya to all around to Mexico, all around the world. They're not traveling to see each other either. And so this is like a family reunion. And we're all going to ask them to gather that first Saturday and just to see them all in the lobby. And we're going to have a little reception for them just so they can have that time to themselves. But it's just, it's neat to see everybody just interacting together, having meals together, talking and sharing stories. And so it's those casual, informal opportunities that you just don't want to miss out on.
No, not at all. Because again, it's that building that relationship, building that community, and just this just this time of encouragement of watching God work around the world through all these different churches and these different people. And what a gift, honestly, that God allows us to have this time together and to just be encouraged by what he's doing.
And we're not, again, this is not a stereotypical missions program that our church does. And I hope as you've been listening and watching to these episodes over the many years, you get that sense. So if this is your first time you're watching and listening to our podcast, just circle back to any of them and you'll hear what Scott and Jim or any of the missions team guys have shared and what the visitors are sharing. But so we don't necessarily even call them missionaries.
Right.
Yeah. Like, there are some who have yet intentionally transplanted themselves to go from one location or one town to another to help share the gospel to a specific region. But for the most part, our global church partners are native, local people from their region, from their town, who have been raised up by the Lord to be able to share and lead a church to their communities. So it's a little strange because we're not calling them missionaries.
Right.
So what do you call them? Well, we're calling them global church partners because that's what they are, or they're visitors, so coming to town. But if you're wondering kind of why that nomenclature is put on, it's because they're not really missionaries.
No.
And there's a handful of people that our church has sent out. But it's just that's how we operate. So it's cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And so we won't be able to get into everybody who's coming, but we're having some new people come this time, and then we're having some very familiar faces. So that'll be really, really special to reunite with people that we haven't seen for 2 years. I'm thinking of our friends from India. So we have those 3 couples coming, the Abrahams, the Armagums, and the Manovas. Yep. So that'll be really fun to be able to see them again. And they've been attending for years now, Global Church Week.
Their partnership with us is pretty strong. And talking about kind of the spiritual content of the week, the fruit that they have been showing over the years and the results, and it'll be exciting to hear from Hanson specifically. I haven't heard much of his story, but I've heard that he has moved and is working in a different location than where he has been over the last several years. So it'd be interesting to see what led him to that move, where it's almost a church plant, if you want to call it that. And I'm just it'll be neat to hear his story. And I know that that'll be one of the spotlights that we have there. I mean, you've mentioned the guys from Africa. There's going to be some husband and wife couples from Africa. There's going to be Delgados from Ecuador. There's going to be Navarros from Mexico. And there's some of our Native American contingent as well that we've recently partnered with over the last several years. So a lot, I think we counted it up, 14 different countries. And roughly 45 visitors. There were some that for different reasons were not able to get visas, who Scott and Jim invited. And again, there's others who just weren't invited for other just different travel and logistical reasons. But so this is not even all of our global church partners. This is just who God has brought in for this time. Now, I will say, when it get back to the schedule, the highlight of Global Church Week and what you want to make sure you put on your calendar, yes, we have a couple of those open house opportunities for informal times. But the Global Church Week conference is going to be the pinnacle of the week, where we're going to allow the visitors to share their stories. And so that's something that is going to happen on Saturday morning and Sunday evening, if I get my math right, the 11th and the 12th of October. So we're asking for registrations because we want this to really have a look and feel of a conference where you register to attend and you get a chance to go to main session and then move and go to different breakout sessions. And each breakout session will be our global church partners in a specific room where they'll get a chance to have an hour to share anything they want of what their story has been like over the last couple of years and what God is doing in their world.
And that'll be so good because having it at the end, because you'll have time to connect throughout the week. But then obviously there's 14 countries represented, so there's a lot of people coming. You might not be able to talk to all of them. So then getting to the end of the week and being like, I haven't heard their story yet. Well, you will have that opportunity to go and hear how God is working in that country.
And in those breakout sessions, we've kind of assigned them to be in different tracks. So like an Asia track or Western Africa and Southern Africa track, or in East Africa, or North and South America. So you can kind of pick and choose and look at the registration link and see who you would most want to hear. And I would suggest maybe go listen and visit someone who you don't know, who you want to learn more about,
right?
And let us know. And there is nursery and preschool available for those Saturday and Sunday evening sessions as well. So don't let that slow you down. But that we want that to be the highlight. And part of the planning process is every Global Church Week is slightly different.
Right.
You know, there's no real rhyme or reason where we just are going to rinse and repeat and do the same thing every 2 years. People are asking me, well, have we done a conference like this before? And I'm thinking to myself, no, we haven't. But this makes sense. It sounds good.
Right.
And the feedback that we got 2 years ago, we allowed the visitors to share. Each one of them went up on stage and shared their story. It was during the daytime, during the weekdays, that we allowed them to share, and really encouraged one another, but it wasn't really an accessible opportunity for our entire congregation to hear. And the glowing feedback was, what was shared was amazing. Why didn't we open this up for everybody? Well, it was, but it's not at a time that made sense. So that's why we have a conference where it's hopefully more likely for each one of you guys who are watching and listening to attend and be encouraged by what God is doing, because you might be scratching your head and be like, should I come? I'm not sure. I might be busy. Those stories that we heard 2 years ago were super encouraging and impressive and inspiring. So I would say that is the highlight, and that is something, if you're going to pick anything, that would be the thing to look forward to.
Absolutely.
And on that Sunday night being the final event, there will be a wrap-up session of prayer for them and a send-off for them. So that'll be a special time, too, as our church to regather back together on that Sunday night and send them back home. So
and that's also really special, and just to form the connections, meet these people and pray for them, because a lot of them are going back to environments that are hostile towards believers, and so it's nice to be able to send them knowing that they are being prayed for and getting to see God's love extended to them in that way.
That's a good point. I mean, we don't think about that, but part of the other goal for this week is that it's a respite for them. It's an opportunity for them to just take a deep breath, come to America. I mean, it seems like fun, right? And enjoy the hospitality of what we're able to provide them. So thank you to all the many people who are hosting and helping with rides and doing things behind the scenes, because it's a dual purpose of really encouraging our body, but also encouraging them as they gather as well.
So what, Mark, are you most excited about for Global Church Week?
So I am excited about the West Oaks market.
Okay,
because 2 years ago we had visions and plans for that, and it got rained out. So there's something fun about exposing what fall season in Winchester is like to somebody who may only visit every other year, or maybe has never visited America, or who's never visited Virginia. There's just kind of a unique flair that West Oaks provides that's like very Winchester, apple or orchard based or pumpkins or whatever the stuff. And so to have a open, just do whatever you want to do evening on a Friday night at the end of the work week for people, to me, I'm looking forward to that the most. What about you?
Oh, I don't know. I like all of it. But I think, honestly, I'm really, really excited about the conference. I'm excited to hear how God is working in just each of their lives and each of their church and ministry contexts. And also, I don't know, there's something special knowing that we have all of these international visitors here. And I feel it when I go, and I feel it this weekend. It's like this tiny glimpse of heaven, because we're a little bit more diverse when they're all here, and knowing, okay, this is just the teeniest, tiniest picture of different cultures, different ethnicities coming together and just worshiping the Lord. And so that's really, really special.
That's a great point. And I know the worship ministry is already starting to plan what those services look like. And that is a little bit of a flair that is going to come out in some of the singing time of the idea that we are all one body of Christ.
Right.
And it's mind blowing to think of how what God is doing here in Winchester, he's doing in Pokot in Africa, or he's doing in Cuenca, Ecuador, or in Mexico somewhere, all around the world.
Yeah.
And then it's even more mind-blowing to think that he's been doing this throughout time.
Right.
with his people, his church, and he consistently is building his church.
Yeah.
And just we're a little piece of that puzzle.
Yeah.
And so to see that a little bit more clear for these 2 weekends, having visitors in town,
right,
singing songs together, praising and worshiping God, and looking to what Revelation shares, that one day we'll all be singing this song of the Lamb. And so there's just a picture of what heaven might be like.
Yeah. So it's very special. We're very excited, and we just hope that everyone listening is able to make it out and just to at least some of it and just connect with these partners, because it is just really, really encouraging to sit down and to be able to hear what God is doing in their lives, share what God is doing in your life. So, well, thank you so much, Mark, for coming on.
It's fun.
Yeah, you get to answer all the questions today.
Answer all the questions today. And again, I'll just say, just go to the app, look at the schedule, register if you haven't registered yet. So you can look at those breakout sessions and just anticipate with prayer for travels, for all the different things that are coming up here in these next 2 weeks.
Yep. And a reminder, we'll put the link to the schedule also in the episode description, so you'll be able to find that there. And always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You can send us your thoughts, questions, requests at fbcva.org/podcast and write us there. Thanks for watching and listening. And remember that it is Christ who is continually building his church until we all attain to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God.